Natalia, look what I found.
You found snow. Good job. It's everywhere around here, as you can tell.
What are we gonna...
It's December.
How can this be possible? How can this happen to me? Where, you know, like all this white crud starts falling out of the sky. What's gonna happen to us now?
Well, you see, it's December, and we live in Russia, in the European part of Russia. We live in Moscow, which is the capital. And in Moscow, in the capital, it has a tendency to snow in the winter.
Oh my God, this stuff is cold too. It's like, and it gets in your shoes, and it's like, it gets in your face and in your eyes, and like,
on your car.
And on your car,
As
and you
people
can't
found
walk,
out.
and like, it takes me like 5 hours to get to work. This is Natalia Antonova.
And Arutunyan.
And we are the Ladies in Putin's Russia, and this is the weekly rant about snow, which we found very inconvenient.
As I was saying, basically, Anna's reaction to this white stuff on the ground was very similar to various transport officials' reaction, because every single time that snow starts falling in earnest every winter, all of a sudden there's like total shock and chaos, and they don't know what to do and where are the snow plows, and there's a huge major traffic jam between Moscow and St. Petersburg on M10 on the highway that's called Russia, actually. People were like stuck there. Like people were stuck there for several days, weren't they? I mean, like
for hours. For like it wasn't clear whether it was like a 24-hour thing or just went on. It just kept happening again and again.
The traffic jam stretched out for like nearly 200 kilometers.
Yeah.
To give you some perspective.
You were slipping. I was watching you slipping on the snow. You videotaped yourself slipping on
yes,
the like just
I
outside of our
myself
building.
outside of the agency where just a few blocks away where there was just like, you know, complete and utter chaos on the ground. People were kind of like, it was like a skating rink.
And no one's cleaning it up.
Because no one's cleaning it up. And everyone's going, well, you know, and the excuse is, well, you know, we're having heavy snowfall. And it's like, we have heavy snowfall every time winter comes. Can we please get used to this? Can you get used to this? Can you accept the fact that there's like, you know, white stuff on the ground, and here I'm gonna throw some at you.
I'm gonna throw some at you. Speaking of which, everybody.
Speaking of winter.
Speaking of winter, people get surprised when political winter happens in Russia, as if it's never happened before.
Yeah, it's
as
totally
if
shocking.
We've never had spates of repression, as if we've never had...
taken me by surprise.
Everybody's like shocked, and you know, this is shocking.
Well,
this is
repressions or crackdowns or however you want to
it's
call
bad.
them.
It's bad. It's not a frolic in the snow. I'm not gonna say that, but like, you know, seriously, if we think about it, these things happen, and they happen perennially. They happen cyclically in a country like Russia, and I think one of the things is that every time for every generation, it's almost as though it's a surprise. And maybe I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but I wasn't surprised. I think people who are watching the historical pattern weren't surprised. Were you surprised?
I think that, you know, when it comes to like the historical pattern, you know, no nation is cyclical. You have to say nations evolve or degenerate depending on circumstances.
There's also the spiral theory.
There's
Hegel.
Well, whatever, you know. Stop trying to act smart, okay? Or not, actually.
We're too stupid for Hegel.
We're too stupid for Hegel. But anyway, as I was saying, is that the fact is that circumstances do change. I think that in Russia, historically, Russia has changed quite a bit. But the thing is that, like, when you have a protest movement and you have a government, and the protest movement does not consider the government legitimate, and the government thinks the protest movement is funded from abroad, you tend to, like, basically the government can do no right. You know, if the government relaxes and does nothing, that's wrong. That's wrong. If the government is like, hey, you guys, I'm gonna, you know, crack down on you, that's also wrong. So basically,
it's a vicious circle. There's no way out of it, because you're asking for the government to give you something, but you don't find the government legitimate.
Well, there are ways out of it. There are ways out of any vicious cycle, but that you need development. You need a developing society. You need a developing government as well. So
you need to basically start cleaning the snow in front of your porch.
You have to start cleaning the snow in front of your porch for a start, you know, and then after you're done with that, you can make yourself some mulled wine. Or Anna made duck recently. You made duck, right?
Yeah.
When the weather is cold, you know, you do things for yourself, for your neighbors. You make mulled wine, you share it. You make duck.
I just made a parallel between repressions and snow
and duck,
and then that just sounded horrible.
No, I mean, I don't think it's horrible. I think it's a question of, you know, once again having the question we keep coming back to on this show over and over again, the question of local politics, and actually, you know, not having just slogans, but having real works, such as duck and snow.
Grassroots.
That's not grass. That looks more like something else.
White stuff.
All right. All right. Well, this was the weekly rant, and stay warm out there. Don't forget your booties, right? As Phil Connors, the Groundhog Day guy said. All right. Bye bye.